Eagles Entertainment.
Hello, Eagles everywhere, and welcome to the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro at the NovaCare Complex early on a Monday morning following the Eagles' 25-20 win on the road in San Francisco. The Eagles' first win of the 2020 season, and a win that puts the Eagles in first place in the NFC East at the quarter pole. More on that later. How did it happen against the defending NFC champion 49ers? Well, the Eagles defense stepping up with 3 takeaways after recording exactly 0 in the first 3 games. None of them larger than the one produced back-to-back defensive possessions. First up, Cre'von LeBlanc on a blitz reaches quarterback Nick Mullins. Here's the call from Merrill Reese and Mike Quick.
Here comes the rush. Mullins stepped up. He's hit. The ball comes loose. Eagles are on it. Is it a fumble or did he have the hand forward? We'll see. Malik Jackson comes up with the football.
That's Cre'von LeBlanc who gets in and gets the football out. Malik Jackson comes over, and what a perfect time to be disruptive and turn the football over for this offense.
The Eagles turned that takeaway into this play. 42 yards, Carson Wentz to wide receiver Travis Fulgham. More on him later. Here's the call from Merrill and Mike.
It is second down and 18. Wentz back again. He steps up. He is floating it, and it is caught by Fulgham, who's in for a touchdown, I believe. Yes, Travis Fulgham, of all people. Travis Fulgham, get to know him. He just caught a touchdown, a 42-yard touchdown from Wentz.
And then the next time the Eagles stepped on the field defensively, it was linebacker Alex Singleton's turn to be a hero.
In his pattern, 1st and 10, San Francisco at the 25. Back goes Mullen. He pumps. It's intercepted. It's intercepted down the far sideline and in for an Eagles touchdown. It is Singleton. Alex Singleton intercepts it, and the Eagles break it open.
The Eagles held on at the end to win the game and obviously fly back to Philadelphia in great spirits. And it was a total team victory, no doubt about it. The Eagles, with so many injuries, starting Jordan Mailata at left tackle, his first start of his NFL career. We'll hear from him in just a bit. Carson Wentz playing good, solid football. Threw an early interception on a tipped pass. He was under pressure, but he completed 18 of 28 passes, 193 yards, the touchdown to Fulham. And he also ran very effectively, as we thought he would. 7 carries, 37 yards, and an 11-yard touchdown. The Eagles recording 5 quarterback sacks, including 4 from the defensive line. Shout out to Derek Barnett and Javon Hargrave and Jannard Avery and everybody up front, Brandon Graham. Lots and lots of pressure on the 49ers in the backfield. The Eagles did a good job stopping the run, and they did an excellent job putting pressure on quarterback Nick Mullins. Not so well against C.J. Beathard, but the Eagles holding on at the very end. All right, let's get into the post-game reaction, and then we'll hear from Merrill and Mike and their analysis. We'll begin with some of the heroes of the game. Travis Fulgham, a 6th-round draft pick by the Detroit Lions in 2019. The Eagles did not enter the roster until August 20th, and all of a sudden, here he is, a star in prime time. Here is Fulham meeting the media after the game.
Hey, Travis, thanks for taking the time. We'll get started here with Ed Benkin and then Mike Kay.
Hi, Travis. Carson said that was a play you guys hit on in practice. How, I don't want to say surprised, but to have that moment in that situation, you get a chance to kind of seize the moment a little bit and reflect on how you got to this point?
Absolutely. It's definitely been a long year for me, long off season, but I came here to Philly and they definitely gave me an opportunity. Working with Carson has been great. Like he said in practice, we hit on it. It was a perfect throw then, and then in the game, he doubled back with that and gave me a perfect throw and made it easy for me.
Thank you.
Mike and then Ed Kratz.
Travis, like you said, it's been a kind of a wild year for you going from Detroit to Green Bay to here. what was the experience how much did the experience of the practice squad kind of help you coming into this game, knowing what to expect, and also having that experience with Detroit that you did have?
Well, with practice squad, I'm going against some of the best corners in the game. They really got me ready, and they really got me ready for this moment. And I owed all the guys out on the field. They all had confidence in me, and that means a lot.
Ed and then Reuben Frank.
Hey, Travis, I think your first career catch was a 15-yarder in the first half. Just getting that first catch out of the way, how important was that to kind of maybe set up that 42-yard touchdown reception?
Absolutely. It was a big moment for me, first catch. I think it just gave Carson the trust in me to come back the second time and give me a chance to score that touchdown.
Reuben and then Nick Fierro.
Can you just kind of run us through that play, through the touchdown from the start until you scored, till you got to the sideline, and just kind of what was going through your head through the whole play?
Well, after we broke the huddle, Carson said, "Get ready." So I knew it was a good shot. He's going to throw the ball to me. So came off the line, kind of beat the corner, just do what I do every day in practice. And we just executed. At first, I actually lost the ball, but since Carson gave me a great throw, I was able to locate it, and it was right in the breadbasket. So we came with the touchdown.
We have time for 2 more, so we'll go Nick and then Daniel.
Travis, more on that play. When Carson was talking about it, he said you were only repped it one time, in practice all week. You hit on it, but you only repped it one time. How unusual is it, to go to a play like that with the game on the line? And have you ever been, had experience doing something like that before, college level, high school level?
I mean, for me, that's a regular play. The ball's in the air, see ball, go get it. But with me and Carson, I mean, the first play we did in practice, it was perfect. So we just had to do the same thing again.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Carson had a lot of success down the stretch last year with kind of, guys coming up from the practice squad, a lot of moving parts. You're a guy that came in, made a big play. What does Carson do, to build that chemistry, with guys like you to be able to do this right away?
Well, throughout practice, we're getting extra work. After practice, we're getting extra work. And, he just had the confidence in us. And, with that, we're able to just play our game, not worry about other things, just trusting our quarterback.
In just a bit, we'll hear what Mike Quick has to say about Fulham as he breaks him down as a talent. And how about Alex Singleton, who has been on the active roster all year in 2020, a lot last year on the practice squad. He replaced middle linebacker TJ Edwards, who left the game with a hamstring injury, and he was in the right place at the right time, and he made the play that counted to put the Eagles up 25-14. Here is Singleton with the press following the victory.
Hey, Alex, congratulations on the play. Can you just run us through that play and just kind of what your reaction was when TJ got hurt and you went in? You haven't played a lot of defensive snaps since you've been here.
The play, obviously, he kind of threw the ball right to me. So my heart kind of skipped a beat and then just caught it and went with it. And knew I had to get in the end zone. We talk about it all week, to score on defense. So it was the only thing going through my mind. And then, when TJ went down, which is a huge loss, that's our Mike. TJ's a great football player. But, like Coach always talks about, next man up. And you don't want to be the weak link. You want to, be the strong link. So to be able to go out there and, be able to do my job as, the most important thing for this team. And, that's what hopefully I did.
Ed and then Les.
So this was a defense, Alex, that didn't have any forced turnovers coming in. So it must feel pretty good, I guess, to get that ball rolling in that direction.
Yeah, we've emphasized it, the last couple of weeks, and obviously the ball wasn't going our way. And, to be able to, have that happen with Rodney and then the sack and then obviously my interception, it's something we've been talking about for weeks, and we finally, it all clicked and, our defense, kept playing the way we did and then finally got some turnovers to go our way.
Les and then Nick.
Alex, it looked like you guys had things pretty well in hand except for Kittle. You didn't seem to have a great answer for him all night, but what was it like this is the first time you've really held a team under 23 and made the big plays. What does this do for the defense going forward?
It's just going to, a stepping stone. You got to get one. It's hard to get that first one. It's hard to get a win in this league. So to be able to, put it on our defensive shoulders and, kind of just push through it. The last few weeks, we were a stop or two away from being able to be there. And so to be able to do that tonight as a defense was huge. And, now, yeah, and, Kittle, he's a great player. You gotta do things to be able to stop them. We're like, to be able to hold them under, or at 20 is huge. So our offense scored enough points and, so we won.
Time for a couple more. So we'll go Nick, EJ, and then Daniel.
Now, Alex, you mentioned your heart skipped a beat. The ball was thrown right to you. But, watching you in training camp, it seemed like you were around the ball all the time when you did play with the defense. You kind of look at this as kind of a payoff or a reward for having such a, being such a great practice player.
It's been a long time, to obviously get to the point where I get any defensive snaps. First time in the league was, 6 years ago. So to be able to finally, have that come, to be able to make a play for this team is, what you do it for. As much as, I enjoy it for myself, I'm happy this team won because that's, if we don't win at the end, you're sick to your stomach whether or not you scored or not. So it's huge, to get this win for the team and, to be able to be part of it.
Hey, Alex, how big was the pressure from the defensive line, and especially as the game wore on?
It's huge. Our D-line, they're fun to play with. As you guys know, it's a lot of hungry guys. They're rotating, and they're making plays all the time. And I think today just paid off for everything they've been doing. To be able to stop the run against that team who runs the ball, who, tells you they're going to run the ball, and to be able to stop it and, let them be able to rush and go do their thing. That's what makes this team special is our D-line, in my opinion. So to see the way they played tonight was pretty awesome.
Last question here with Daniel.
Hey, Alex, when you finally get into the end zone after the touchdown, what's the first thing that goes through your mind, to kind of have that moment in that spot? What are you thinking about?
It was real quiet stadium. It was an interesting feeling. I haven't scored a touchdown since my junior year of college. So, it was really cool. It's exciting, just to be part of it. And obviously Sunday night, you got to go find the fan cam in the corner. So, we talk about that, as a defense, if you score, where we're going to go. So it was pretty exciting to be able to do that.
Thanks, Alex.
How about Carson Wentz, who has been under some enormous pressure in recent weeks, but on Sunday night, he stood tall with a lot of pressure in his face and a lot of pressure coming from the outside. The best of Carson Wentz meeting the media after the Eagles recorded their first victory of the season.
Coach had a great play call on the fourth down to get John open. John did a good job of creating separation, and that was a huge play for us to keep that drive going. And then just a couple plays later, the go ball to Travis. Obviously, a limited amount of time on task working with Travis, but that's something that he can do and do well, and he tracks the ball well. And, we broke the huddle, and I told him to be ready on that one. And, we made a play, and pretty impressive how he not only caught the ball but kept his feet in to get in the end zone. But that was just a huge night for us to rally around a bunch of different guys, new faces out there making plays. I think as far as the game plan went, we kind of just did what we did, and had a game plan ready to go for that style of defense, and expected guys to step up and make the plays when asked to, and that's what we did. And for me, as far as my preparation, and I didn't overthink anything. It was guys are there and they're going to make the play and trust them, and guys did a good job all week of coming together and building this thing together, and obviously tonight it was just a huge team win. Everybody all around, offense, defense, special teams, making plays when they needed to. I don't go into a game thinking it's time to scramble or anything. Pocket sometimes breaks down. They do a good job in coverage. So, sometimes they cover us up and got to make a play. And so that's something really the last 2 weeks that, I'm feeling good. Guys are doing a good job holding their blocks up front. So when we can extend plays like you saw tonight, there's some big plays to be had down the field when the things do break down like that. You can't really make it up, the injuries and the situations that we've been put in. But, that's the hand we're dealt. That's the hand we're dealt, and guys have been ready. They've been working their tail off for their moment when it comes. And you saw tonight a bunch of guys making plays that maybe were on practice squad last week or different things. And obviously the O-line, a lot of young guys that have been filling in and stepping up and doing an amazing job. And so really, hats off to the coaches for getting these guys ready, but, hats off to these guys for staying ready and being locked in the way they were for tonight. Yeah, I mean, you got to be patient anytime you're going up against a good defense like that, but not only a good defense, but the way they play. You know, they're going to play discipline. They're going to make you, you know, move the ball underneath, and just really earn it. They're not going to give up many big plays. And we knew that coming into the game. We knew that, and we built the game plan around that. And like you said, obviously the mistakes and, you know, little things can add up in those certain drives, but guys made enough plays to get the win tonight, and I'm proud of them.
Jordan Mailata stepping in at left tackle when the Eagles put Jason Peters on injured reserve for the Aussie. His first NFL start, a solid one. Here is Jordan Mailata's question and answer with the Philadelphia Press.
I got to give special thanks to Joe Osman this week. Joe really worked me during all the reps this week, and I feel like he prepared me for this game. Even when I didn't know I was starting, he worked me, made sure that I was getting a good look, made sure I was getting off the ball, getting on the snap cadence as well. So yeah, hats off to Joey Osman, Smoking Joe. Of course, first game starting, I had a little bit of jitters, but once that first drive was over, it was gone. Felt like I was at home, and yeah, it was great to get this dub. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I really just prepare like I am starting, just in case. We're a big next man up mentality team, so you know you never know what could happen in this game of football. It's the one thing I've learned the last 3 years being here, and how I found out. It's kind of just a feeling. Walked in on Saturday morning, and everyone was like, "Yeah, you're up." So that was pretty much it, and I was like, "Cool, let's do it." I'm not trying to fill anyone's boots. I'm trying to make my own boots. You know. That's the one thing I came here to do, try to put some respect on my name and tell people that I ain't a rugby player anymore. I'm a footballer. So that's one thing for me. And I'm glad I have guys like JP and Lane Johnson who coach me up on the sideline, who coach me up every day at practice and make me a better player and person. So my hat's off to them.
Even in the secondary, defensively, the Eagles had to make some changes. Jalen Mills moving from safety back to cornerback where he played for 4 seasons. The Eagles inserting rookie Cre'von Wallace at the safety spot. Here's Mills talking about an outstanding defensive effort.
One of the messages that was said last night was give everything you got. You know what I'm saying? After this game, we want to be dog tired. You know, when we get back in this locker room, it should be a deep exhale from each and every person on that defense because we know if we give everything we got, every single person, we're going to come out with this win. He was a guy actually, and I mean, you can ask anybody on the team, he was a guy that I actually used to brag on the sideline. For once he got in during camp, I literally never seen him drop a ball. And I used to always walk up and down the sideline every time he would catch a ball, and I would say, like, I've never seen this dude drop a ball at practice. Like, I know once he gets his opportunity, he's going to make the most of it, and, you know, today was his day. Sunday Night Football, you know, no bigger stage. It kind of seems like, you know, my 4 years here now going on 5, it's kind of been the same kind of book, you know, that's been written each and every year. Somebody goes down and, you know, it's the next man up mentality, you know, and I think that's kind of been our identity of this team. And, you know, we've kind of embraced that. And, I mean, what no better way to have it than guys who, you know, are hungry and they're getting an opportunity and they're making the most of it and also helping us get a win, man. I think that's really, really big. That speaks on, you know, not only the characters that we got, you know, as players, but also the coaching staff and coaching those guys up and giving those guys a chance. Man, it's so big, man. I'm so happy for him, man. That guy, he's had a long journey, and for him to get that on a turnaround and get that interception and score, you know, that was so big for this team, man. I'm so happy for him. Dude works extremely hard, you know, not only on special teams, but now, like I said, he got his opportunity on the field and he make the most of it. And I know that's not going to go unseen by the coaches. So for sure, I'm thinking he's going to get a little bit more extra playing time now, and I look forward to seeing him out there.
And finally, from Levi's Stadium, Doug Pederson talking about what this win meant, the first of 2020.
Very gutty. He played very well. You know, and he played inspired. He led the football team tonight for the win. I mean, and quite frankly, I mean, it might not have been perfect, but you know, he gutted out several plays tonight, and my hat's off to him for just continuing to battle and continuing to stand in there and make some tough throws and some tough decisions, and he did a nice job. This is really more importantly though, really a team team effort, team win tonight. Yeah, in Travis's case, he's been flashing, in practice, and obviously with the injuries there at the position, been able to get him up and get him some work, and I think he's got a good relationship with Carson on the football field, and it's something that we can continue to build, on his performance. I thought he played well. We'll look at the tape obviously on the ride home, but and then in Alex's case, this guy he's kind of the unsung hero. I mean, this guy's he's a 4-core special teams player. He's a backup role player on defense, and he just battles. He comes to work every day. He's always in a great mood. He's excited. He's excitable. Guys rally around him, and I was happy for him to get that, pick six. Obviously the interception, and then obviously end in the end zone. So, just a great play by him. But again, two guys that are well deserved. Well, having played 4 games and first place sounds really good, right now. But we got a long season ahead of us. Only the first quarter of the season is done, and we got a long road ahead. One game at a time mentality. But I'm gonna tell you something. These guys don't quit. It's a resilient group. I'm so happy to be being able to coach and lead them, and it doesn't matter what the adversity is, what they're faced with. These guys seem to rally around each other. This is a tough road game to come out here on the road. Traveling East Coast to West Coast, play on a Sunday night is tough. It's tough on the guys, but they seem to find a way. And my hat's off to them, and excited for those guys in the locker room.
All right, time now for some analysis. First, from the voice of the Philadelphia Eagles, Merrill Reese. All right, Merrill. Now, what a thriller, right? Like, just when you least expect it, here come the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a tremendous game, and it showed a lot about the character of the team. It goes all the way out to San Francisco. Everybody has them buried, and they play a totally aggressive game and beat a 49ers team that is one of the teams to beat in the NFC West.
Merrill, let's take it through some of the stars here that we did not expect. Travis Fulgham, your thoughts on him stepping up and making that big catch down the left sideline. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't know a whole lot about him. You didn't know a whole lot about him. But everybody in the NFL is a great player.
Well, the fact is he didn't make a routine catch. He made a great catch very close to the sideline, and I don't know how he stayed in bounds, but he showed great balance and slithered into the end zone. That was an amazing play.
Merrill, your thoughts on Carson in this game?
I thought Carson, there were a couple of times when he held the ball too long. The one interception really wasn't on him. It was on a deflection. But he was gutsy. He was tough. You could feel the leadership. And he threw some tight passes and made some great plays. And he continues to do more with his legs in these last 2 games than he had done in a while. But I think that's good. I think that makes him the kind of threat that he was back in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting watching him run. He's big enough to shrug off pass rushers, and he's fast enough to get up the field a little bit. I really like that element in this offense.
Yeah, I do too. But he really threw the ball at times with great authority. I mean, he missed a couple that he should have made. But he also, the pass to Fulham was tremendous. He threw some really good balls early to Greg Ward. I thought that this was his best game of the year, and it was very encouraging. Was it as good as he is capable of being? I would say no. I think he could be better. I think he could be much better than this. But it showed that he is heading in the right direction.
Merrill, the offensive line came in with a bunch of, again, injuries and changes, and Jordan Mailata. Eagles stayed balanced offensively. I just think this is the formula to win, kind of winning even though it might not be that pretty.
Well, I think that's a good call on your part, because you can't go too wide open. You've got to play it tight to the vest. You're going to have to win a lot of close games. The Eagles are without a lot of people, so they've got to be smart. And I thought that Mailata really did a pretty good job at left tackle. I mean, this is his 3rd year. It's time for him to show that he really belongs as a
starting player in the National Football League, and I think he took a good step forward in this game. Although he took an early step forward that cost him a short yardage play where he went off sides, but that's going to happen. But basically, he did not look skittish.
And then, Merrill, let's talk just in general about the defense. You know, Alex Singleton comes up and makes the big play. They get 3 takeaways. I mean, that's really good stuff, huh?
That's great stuff. I couldn't be happier for Alex Singleton. I mean, this year we don't get to see or know players, but I got to know Alex Singleton last year, and here's a kid who played in Canada who is just so happy and grateful to be playing in the National Football League. He comes to work every day with a smile on his face. He has passion every time he steps on the field. He's been a terrific special teamer, and I'm so happy to see him having the opportunity to step up and make a game-deciding play.
Merrill, the Eagles are in first place. What's your reaction to that?
Well, they are in first place in what I sarcastically call the NFC least instead of the NFC East, because it is a weak division. And first place could go back and forth 10 times this season. But the important thing is this team with this start could be a couple games out of it by this time. And instead, you have the Cowboys with 3 losses. You have the Giants with 4 and Washington with 3. So their chances are pretty good in this division. I think it's great.
Merrill, normally we would, we're talking right now at about 12:40 in the morning. We would normally be getting onto the bus leaving Levi's Stadium with a 7 a.m. arrival back in Philadelphia. The fact, I mean, we both miss being at the games, but I got to tell you, I'm going to enjoy hitting my bed around 3:30 this morning rather than 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning.
You know, I know you're right, but to be honest with you, I would have loved the feeling in normal times to be out there with the team and getting on the buses with them and seeing their faces on the plane. And even though it would have been a long, tiring night, being with these guys and feeling their happiness after a win this critical at this point of the season.
Yeah, I agreed. Going out as a traveling party and winning a road game is a very special feeling. Merrill, thanks so much.
Thank you, Dave. Always great to be on with you.
And now Mike Quick, who breaks down the new number 13. I'm sure a lot of you looked out there and thought, is that Nelson Aguilar? Yeah, no, it's not. Travis Fulgham is his name. Big play on Sunday was his game. So tell me about this, a guy that we've never heard of. I mean, I bet you most Eagles fans were looking out there and going, is it Nelson Aguilar still number 13?
Well, he didn't drop the baby.
Hey, Mike, tell me about Travis Fulgham. What did you know about him prior to tonight?
So, well, just a couple of days ago, I started to look at him and understand that there was a new receiver on the roster running around, and I didn't know who it was, and I just wanted to know. So I made a couple of phone calls and just started to find out who he was and just a little bit about him. Went to Detroit, had a little stay in Detroit, went to Green Bay, released by Green Bay. But I guess he never really got a chance to really show how well he can play, how talented he is, and hopefully he can express that talent here. At ODU, he had a pretty good career, and a collegiate career, so we'll see what he can do.
What did you think of that play, Mike? That was they had repped the play once in practice, Carson and him. It was a great throw, but the catch, he was covered well. I mean, tell me, as a receiver, what did you see on that play?
Well, it's really simple. And I like the way the kid explained it in his post-game interview. He said, he threw the ball, and as a receiver, you see the ball, you go get the ball. It's as simple as that, Dave, to me. He got a good release. It wasn't a great release. Didn't do a whole lot at the line of scrimmage, but he stacked real well on the defender, kept him to the inside. The ball came right down the chimney, right in the perfect spot. It wasn't a clear catch. He bobbled the ball a little bit, but he held on to it. Probably the most impressive part of the play is how well he was able to stay in bounds. because he was right at the out of bounds line, and he maintained his balance enough to stay in bounds till he got into the end zone.
Yeah, it was a great play. Mike, what did you think of this victory? How important was it?
Dave, it's really important. And it's impressive that they're able to go on the road and get the win, but really important because, in the first quarter of the season, you don't want to end the first quarter without a win at all. You got to win, you got to tie, so you have a chance still. If you don't get a win at all in the first quarter of the season, there's not much of a chance at all at getting into the postseason. As poorly as the NFC East looks, it looks even worse if you don't have a win at all in the first quarter.
Mike, there are a lot of statistics in the game of football that at the end of the day don't mean a whole lot, but the one that does seems to be more than anything is the turnover ratio. And the Eagles entered this game -7, worst in the NFL tonight. They were 3-1. How important is that number to you?
That is so important. It's if you look back at the Eagles, the points that they've given up off of turnovers, huge factor in the reason why they're in the position that they're in. Look at tonight's win. Huge reason why they beat the 49ers is because they had a game plan to get to the quarterback, hit the quarterback in a lot of different ways, affect the throwing of the quarterback, and they were able to get turnovers because of that.
Great win. I love the offensive philosophy. Just take what they give you, run the football, offensive line hung tough. I thought it was a real character victory.
I completely agree with you. I mean, this kind of shows who you are. When your back's against the wall, and certainly you go out there and their backs are against the wall, they came up big. Even last week, Dave, they came back at the end of the half last week. I think that showed a lot. They came back at the end of the game to extend the game into overtime. I think that shows a lot. When you start to stack things like that, it really starts to build the character of your football team.
And finally, what'd you think about Carson and the way he hung in there tonight?
I think he played his best game of the season. I think he was a better distributor of the ball. I think he made better decisions with the ball in the passing game. And I think when he decided to run the ball, it was at the right times, and he was very effective when he ran the ball. This was clearly, to me, his best game so far this season.
It's been a long time since the Eagles won a game. It sure does feel good.
It does feel good.
Yeah. Well, sleep well, and let's go get him next week.
All right, Dave.
Thanks, Mike. The final score, Eagles 25, San Francisco 20, and the 1-2-1 Eagles in first place in the NFC East at the quarter pole. A lot more football to get to, of course, in this 2020 season. But for now, after so many early season struggles, it sure does feel good to get a win and to be atop the NFC East. Thanks to Peter Kelly and Ray Doyle for their work here. And, of course, Trevor Hayes now chipping in. Thanks to him and Buffy Gorilla as well. Thanks to all of you for joining us here on the Eagles Insider Podcast. If you have a moment to give us a 5-star review or any review, that would be great. Hey, feel good. Eagles in first place. Big win in prime time. It was a thriller from Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro. Thanks for joining me on the Eagles Insider Podcast presented by Lincoln Financial Group. Have yourselves a great Eagles day and fly, Eagles, fly.
E-A-G-L-E-S-E